candy fan in general.
Yeah. So the Reese's products, do you have a favorite product of the Reese's?
I like the mini cups. The little ones.
No,
oh, wow.
Get out of town. Because you got to have more peanut butter than chocolate. You need to go with like the trees or the Easter eggs or the holiday ones that come out.
That's too much for me. I just like the more of the balance.
You get right out of town. That's the great thing. You can get variety.
I know.
You and I could get a pack and we could share.
Safe area.
We could share our likes.
Yeah, you could give me all the little mini ones. And the regular traditional ones are good too.
I'm a fan of the entirety of this burger here. Tell the folks what we're working on.
We are going to do blue cheese burgers today with a garlic herb aioli, and we've talked a lot this summer about grilling in general and meat, and I realized that we haven't done a burger, and my favorite thing off of the grill, well, two things are burgers for sure and pork tenderloin.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite thing off the grill?
I like everything on the grill. Usually, if I have to pick like one thing, like it's my only meal, probably a big ribeye steak.
Yeah. And we've done steaks. So I thought we'd do this today. And I love blue cheese burgers. And of course, you could do, whatever cheese you wanted. And a lot of people, kind of always ask what is the best meat to use when you're doing burgers, and I think that ground chuck is the best way to go. 80% meat, 20% fat, so you have a little bit of that fat in there for flavor, and it's just gonna make your burger really nice and juicy. And then today we're going to add, I have gorgonzola crumbles, but you could use blue cheese or gorgonzola. And this is a 5-ounce container, so just 4 to 5 ounces.
Fancy.
And I just go ahead and put it all the way in there, and that way it's easy. You don't have to worry about, trying to melt it on later. And then this is 2 pounds of meat, like I said. And so this is 2 teaspoons of kosher salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. And I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Gorgonzola has 4 syllables.
That's hard to say, kind of.
So you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola.
Sounds like something out of Stranger Things, the Demogorgon.
Well, I wouldn't know, but my husband would know.
They could invent Demogorgonzola cheese.
I'm surprised Spirit didn't say that last night.
Yeah.
He watches Stranger Things, but I don't watch it. I'm sure Chelsea doesn't either.
No, she does.
Does she?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
You need to watch it.
I'm the only one then.
See, Lucy, we're having issues today with your Reese's.
We're not jabbing.
And you're not watching Stranger Things.
Oh, no.
You know what? No issues with what you're making, though. I can't wait to try out these burgers. If the folks want to get the recipe, you can find it on the Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com. And, of course, all the information about Greer's. This is a Wednesday. That's when you come out with your weekly ad.
Yes, absolutely. So Greers.com for all of that information. And I'm, of course, using ground beef from our market. And we still caught all of our own beef in store and, make all of our own grinds, which is really unusual today. So, you can always get the best meat with us.
High quality meat products from Greer's. You definitely want to go check it out, especially if you want to grill one of these sizzling meats of summer that we've been talking about all throughout the summer here. Going to check back with you in just a little bit. And looking forward to that. Looking forward to eating too, Chelsea.
We are back in the Studio 10 kitchen. Almost forgot the number there with Lucy from Greer's. We were just talking about the cookie dough, and you said your mom texted you and asked if you had some yet.
Yes.
So we're having burgers and cookie dough for breakfast, and I'm okay with it.
Unfortunately, my segment backed up to her segment, and I haven't been able to have any of the
kitchen.
cookie dough yet.
He's getting in our
Joe, don't bring that over here.
Wow.
We were talking about the cookie dough because I
eating
haven't had any yet.
And
Cookie dough is my biggest weakness, and I told the dough mama when she was in here that I said I eat cookie dough, but the very unsafe way when I prepare it, and then I don't bake the cookies. I just eat all the dough, and so I'm thrilled over the edible cookie dough.
So a good and a safe way to eat it, but hey, all cookie dough is good in my eyes.
That's right.
Now we're working on these burgers. It's really cool because for friends at home who may be just now tuning in, we're making a blue cheeseburger, but instead of putting like a slice of it or whatever on top, you kind of mixed it in with the meat.
Yeah, and it just makes it so much easier. So we mixed up our burgers and we started with ground chuck.
Yeah.
So we did 2 pounds, and I made huge burgers. These are, I just made 4 patties, but of course you could do, 4 to 8, just however big you like them, or you could do sliders. When I was younger, my mom always made small burgers, and I always wanted big burgers, and she always said no.
Okay, that's crazy because my mom, and she's watching right now, makes big burgers, and I tell her every single time, I want small burgers.
Okay, well, you can go to my house, and I should have been at your house.
Me and
that
Lucy
is so funny. So now I think that's why I make ginormous burgers now, because I always wanted big ones when I was little.
Shout out to our moms.
So I just did the 2 pounds of ground chuck, which is 80/20, so it's gonna make a really good burger. In all of our markets, we still cut all of our own beef, and so we make all of our own grinds in-house, so it's not, you know, prepackaged or anything like that. So it's awesome quality. And I use gorgonzola crumbles today, but you could use blue cheese, or, you know, if you aren't a blue cheese person, of course, use cheddar or whatever else you want.
Yeah.
And then I just did salt and pepper and some olive oil.
Awesome.
And whatever size you make your burgers, the most important thing when you are making them is see the little indentation in the middle. So that's going to make sure that they cook up really evenly. If you've ever seen the burgers sometimes and they're kind of like oval on top, or like puffy, that's just because of the way that it cooks. So if you bake that indentation in the middle, then that way it's going to cook up and have a very smooth top.
Oh, okay, I see now. So we're about to put those in the pan. We're also talking about a garlic and herb aioli that you're making too. Now, something that I really like that you've used before are these little tubes, because it makes our life so much easier, but it's still the same fresh, good ingredients.
That's exactly right. And we have these in our produce departments and I absolutely love them. Today I have the garlic one, and I bought the Italian herb one. So this has the basil and the thyme, the oregano already in it together. And I love to have a sauce on top of my burgers. And I like to do a creamy sauce. And of course, if you aren't a mayo fan, or if you're trying to cut some calories, you could do this exact same thing with plain Greek yogurt, which I make sauces with Greek yogurt all the time. So you don't have to use the mayo. But we're going to mix that up. And I was going to get one of our burgers. I said that my favorite thing on the grill is burgers. And of course, we're inside today. So we're just going to use
favorite thing in the pan.
favorite thing in the pan. So then, you know, of course, when you pick it up, and I always, I like to watch my mom make burgers. It's something about, you know, something you remember, just like the way she did it, even though they were too small. But so I'm just going to put it in here, and you know, you want to cook burgers whether you're on the inside or the outside over high heat. You know, about 5 minutes on one side, about 3 to 4 minutes on the next side. You know, until however you like to eat them. So it's pretty easy, and burgers are one of my favorite things.
Now, real quick, I want to talk about Greer's. It's Wednesday, so you guys are typically busy on Wednesdays. You guys have been busy, though, with new stores and updating stores. Crazy.
I know, it is crazy. After this, I'm going to be going to our Cottage Hill store. We are remodeling over there, so we have a whole new deli lineup, and we're going to be doing the produce and the meat departments here in the next couple weeks. So we just finished up our store in Fowl River on the way to the island. So that store is completed. So we've just always kind of blowing and going and trying to update and working on plans for the new store downtown. So we had our groundbreaking a couple weeks ago for that store on St. Louis Street. So always, you know,
always fun
doing
and busy.
Something.
Always busy at Greer's, but fun time. So in the kitchen this morning, we got these blue cheeseburgers and cookie dough. Moms, we love you. We just like our burgers a little different. Joe and Michael.
Those are some big burgers.
They are.
How big you think them burgers is?
I think them about half a pound each.
Half a pound
but
burgers.
Look, they shrink up when they cook.
They do, to a perfect
size.
edible size.
I forgot extra buns, so we can't.
That's all right. We can just put cookie dough on top of it.
Yeah, I love that. I did snag a few pieces. It was really good. My mom did text me that the burgers are monsters.
Yes, they are. They are monster burgers. But
that's the way I like them.
Well, here's the deal, though. If you're making your burgers for yourself, you don't have to make them half a pound.
No.
You can make them 4 ninths.
Yeah, you could, or you could do like a more reasonable, like quarter of a pound, but.
The typical burger standard in the United States is 1750 seconds.
We'll check that later.
Yeah, roughly
well,
a third.
The standard in my house is half a pound, so that's what we did with ground chuck, and we mixed in our blue cheese crumbles and just a little bit of salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil too. And of course, you could use whatever cheese you wanted. And then Chelsea and I were talking about the sauce that we're going to make.
Okay.
And so I have a cup of mayo in here, and of course, you can substitute plain Greek yogurt. I make sauces for burgers a lot with Greek yogurt too, but today we're just going full throttle here. So I'm going to squeeze in about a teaspoon of this grated garlic, And of course you could chop it up too. And when I'm making a sauce, you know, I always like to use my microplane when I'm doing zest and stuff like that. And then if I didn't have this, then I would just get a fresh clove of garlic and just grate it in there. But I was just taking a shortcut with our garlic there. And then I grabbed an Italian herb, 1, 2. And so I'm just going to do, you know, about a teaspoon of that. And of course, if you didn't have these on hand, you could just substitute any fresh herbs or dried herbs, you know, are completely fine too. And then I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and also a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. And this is just going to go so great with the blue cheeseburger.
Have you ever made a Alabama white barbecue sauce?
It's funny you say that because I have, Spiro actually has a barbecue restaurant in Dothan called
right.
Pig Out that his dad opened, and we've talked a lot about doing a white barbecue sauce. They have, I think, 4 different sauces that they do, but white barbecue isn't one. I love white barbecue sauce.
Yeah, mayo-based, some vinegar.
Yeah.
Sometimes people put horseradish in it.
Yeah, it is really good, and you know, a tiny bit of sugar.
Case in point, I'm thinking about making some to try to make it myself. And this is sort of similar.
Yeah, and I just love a creamy sauce on barbecue or burgers in general. And it's so easy to whip up your own sauce. And of course, you know, you could just put whatever condiments you want on this. But I just love just having kind of a special sauce, and it really elevates the burgers. It just kind of makes them special. Like if you're going to have friends over or something like that, you know, mixing up a couple different sauces instead of just having just your mustard and ketchup. It's just a little bit different. So if you were going to grill them, of course we're indoors today, you would just grill burgers over direct heat, high heat for about 5 minutes on the first side, and then flip them over. You don't want to just be flipping them back and forth because they'll tear up. And if you can, once you mix up the burgers, and we talked about the indentation in the middle, so they'll cook up nice and flat on the top. So, you know, once you form them, just press them down in the center. If you can, you could go ahead and make them ahead of time, pop them in the fridge, and then they'll really firm up for you. And then we've talked a lot this summer about before you cook any meat, you want to bring it out and set it on the counter for about 30 minutes before you cook it. So you could do these ahead of time, you know, bring them out 30 minutes while you're getting the grill set up, or, you know, whatever else you're doing, and then pop them on there, and then you'll just cook them as long, you know, as however you like to eat them.
All right, that sounds good. We just saw on the picture there the finished product. It looks absolutely fantastic. You know, so many people make burgers. This is a great recipe to try to add a little bit of a twist, some flavor to your burger. Of course, you can find all the ingredients for this and so much more at all the Greer's locations throughout the Gulf Coast. Anything you want to mention before we go today, Lucy?
Just to look out, I mentioned to Chelsea our remodel at our Cottage Hill store, so I'll keep everybody informed on dates as we go along. But the new deli setup is in, so come see it.
Awesome. Go check that out. Lucy, thank you for coming here. Can't wait to try this out. And now over to Chelsea.